How to gain success in the tech sphere and start your own businesses if you are a woman. Hello, my name is Tatiana Milnichuk. I've been working in a tech field for more than 10 years, and 3 years ago I founded my own IT recruitment agency, Lucky Hunter. My career way was not among simple ones, but it shows that being a woman in IT doesn't mean that you have no chance for success. I decided to share my story with you, provide that you can achieve whatever you want, and it doesn't matter wherever you are, woman or not. So, what I'm talking about my own experience, how I started to work in IT, challenges, mistake, some insight, how I started my own businesses and provide you with some life hacks, explain why being woman in IT is great and pleasant. So, one short prehistory. My first experience in tech field I got 10 years ago by working as an HR specialist. It was a small but very promising IT company that was building a breakthrough product. The team consists entirely of men, so I was the first and only one girl in a team. Let's face the truth. It was really not easy to blend into the team. As I was starting to gain experience in IT, there were gaps in my knowledge which my colleagues helped to fill. However, the process of education was really rather painful. The guys treated me with a certain skepticism. Colleagues snickered me at the time, times joked that a woman and high technologies are incompatible. In addition, in IT community, there was a certain prejudice about how specialists from the tech world should look, and I didn't quite fit into the pattern. This added to fuel to the fire. One of the project founders often notes at general meetings that I wasn't very suitable for the work in the tech world. So, what about the challenges? In IT field, people judge a book by its cover. If you don't look like an IT person, you will be produced at first, especially if you are a girl. A woman has to prove her intellectual ability. This has nothing to do with the IT field. However, as this is one of the most developed area today, the person, gender or age is not very important. The most important it is your skills and your professionalism. A woman has no right emotion. Any expression of emotion is regarded as you are hysteria, imbalance. Emotion is stability. But when men express their sentiments, it is explained by a hard day they've had, overstrain, or maybe some serious business problems. So, how I overcome challenges? At that time, I decided I wouldn't fight, gain the necessary experience and achieve success. Judging my zeal on its merits, the guys began to treat me with respect and help with my education more willingly. When talking about complex technical processes, they used simple and easily understood phrases. For example, it is really very interesting. The guys explain what cash was through the example of jars of jam in the cellar. It was really very interesting. Thanks to the combative mood and hard work, I achieved cool results in a short time. Not only my colleagues noticed my professional growth, but also the candidate. It was really very cool. During interviews, they often note a good technical backup, and sometimes through that I was working as a programmer, not an HR. As HR, it was really grateful. As you could see, I did not change my appreciate or try to adapt to the standard of the community. I just worked hard, don't give up. As a result, the community set the face to me. It is not only about the impossibility to gain success in IT if you are a girl. On the contrary, you define to gain success. All you need is just work hard, develop, and try to get more knowledge. This applies to everyone, man, woman. You consistently need to grow and move forward. And let's see, what about my result? I'm the founder of the 3 IT project. I'm the head of the international IT recruitment agency Lucky Hunter, as well as the head of the IT project for startup Zero to Hero and special service for tech recruiting CV Hub. Having achieved such success in my career, I no longer see a based attitude for the representative for the IT community. On the contrary, working with the Lucky Hunter team men respect our professionalism, highlighting deep knowledge of recruiters of complex technical processes. But I did a lot of mistakes. So I guess the main mistake I made was my constant comparison of the tech field to others. I did not understand that tech field is very different from other fields. So could not switch over to another wavelength. So what you need to understand that tech field is unique. It has its own rules, specifics, styles. Just feel it and won't be afraid to changes. There is no need to be afraid. I remember the day when my first big client, it was Yandex. This is like Google. It's really a Russian Google. I was scared to death. I was afraid to do something wrong, to disgrace myself, to let them down. But in fact, do not be afraid to take risk. Do it without worrying if something goes wrong. If you want to achieve something, set global goals. You get exactly a half of what you have planned. Want to take 1 million? Just set a goal to earn 2. Please remember about this. From terms according to the personal comfort principle, experience is less important than the fact that a person burns with enthusiasm and strives to develop professionality. So, and the most important things, you must understand that you can do whatever you want. Please stop these playing gender games. All you need is to be a cool professional. I don't remind a typical IT ladies. Look at me, I have a blondie hair, curly hair. But when I started talking, people take me seriously as a really professional. Just do your job well and remember that women can do anything. It turns that the formula of success is quite simple. You must work hard. You should not be afraid to take a risk and create teams. I read this message in an interview with one successful Russian businessman when I had just started my businesses, and looking back, I understand that is a very true statement. So, to sum up, being a woman in IT is interesting and inspiring if you are well versed in what you are doing, have a Virgo character, and are able to standard your growth. So, there is no gender segregation and bias against girl in IT field. After you've achieved success in IT and provide that you are a professional in your field, you can breathe a sigh of relief. Working with men IT specialists is a very easy and pleasant. So, thank you for your time. Feel free to contact with me. Believe in yourself. And remember that to be a woman, it is really cool. Thank you for your time. Bye bye.